Hey guys, this is Jeff Kynes. It's June 28th here, just giving you an update on what I'm working on now. As many of you know, working on the F-250 truck, I've had to fabricate many of my own brackets. Most of those brackets I've done with or cut out with my plasma cutter, and then I just clean up those brackets by just frankly grinding the edges and sanding them and grinding them away so that they look nice. But that's a lot of work, and one of the things I've always wanted to do is either buy or build a plasma cutter. So I've been looking online at what other people have done and what works, and I want a small plasma cutter, and I found this one online actually on Amazon. Uh, it's a Genmitsu 5.5 watt laser engraver cutter with air assist system, but it's 2 foot by 2 foot bed that I can adapt easily to my plasma cutter. So I actually purchased this $349, and I was able to take the laser off of it and put my plasma torch on there instead, and use the exact same software that they offer for the laser printer and use it with my plasma cutter because the software does both laser or plasma. So it works out really well. Now I'm showing the screen here with just the address so that if you wanted to go buy this online on Amazon, here it is. There were two modifications that I had to make to the laser burner to enable my plasma torch to work in it. The first modification, of course, is fitting the plasma torch in and substituting my plasma torch in instead of the laser. Now, the picture I'm showing on the screen here shows the laser on the left side here. It also has an air hose for air assist, and it's mounted on a bracket with 4 bolts on there. So what I've done is I've converted it over to a plasma table. And the first thing I did here is I made this bracket. So I took off the laser unit and I made a bracket to specifically hold my torch. So I just cut this out of, I think it's about 12 gauge. And then I actually chucked this up in my lathe and made this collar, and I TIG welded it together. I also put in, you can see, like a little screw to just to hold the torch in so it's not moving around here. Second thing I did is I had to take apart the trigger because I needed to find the wires that go to it, because this miller has a quick connect here. So it's a quick connect and all the wires run through it. So what I did is I took apart the gun and figured out, just pinned out the wires that were coming out of it, and I found the two that trigger it, and I put in one of these connectors here. It's the same connector that you use for charging your battery, and so it's just a simple put the two wires together and it'll fire it off. So on the other side of that, on the gantry here, I had to put a relay in here so that I could close the circuit for the guns, because the laser actually, when it fires, there's a 12-volt signal that goes to the laser to fire. So I use the 12-volt signal to power the relay and to close the circuit on my torch handle right there so that it'll fire it up here, and it seems to work out pretty good. Now this is my first shot. I haven't even fired it off yet, but I just tied the hose right up in the air in the garage just so I have full capability or movement of this. And right now I just have this as just a test fixture. I was going to make a line just to cut it off right here with using my plasma cutter right there, and I've got everything ready. So I drew up a line in Lightburn, which is a software. It's just basically a 4-inch line here, and I'm getting ready to fire this up. So I'm turning on my unit here, my plasma cutter. It looks like it's ready to go. That looks like it's ready to go. This looks like it's ready to go. So I've already set the origin, so I'm going to hit start. See where it goes. And that was the test. So it looks like the speeds are a little too slow here, so or too fast. And so I'll play with the speeds to get it just right, but it seems to work really good. Thanks. All right, guys, I'm getting ready to cut out my first bracket. I got the feeds set or for the speed of the laser, and this is my first bracket. So I've got it on 1/4 inch plate right there. And I've got everything set up, ready to go. I'm going to hit the button now, and she should fire off and go. Let's see what happens. Hit the start. All right, not too bad. That's my first bracket. The one thing that I just thought about is I probably should have put the hole in first before the other one, but the other thing didn't drop out this time, so I'm really impressed with the quality of the cut from my plasma cutter using this laser gantry. This tool is just going to save me tons of time in the future and materials as well as paper, grinding materials, clean up, everything else that goes along with that. As you can see in the picture here, this is just my first cut of using the plasma cutter, and you can see the quality of the cut is almost better than a bandsaw blade. It's really quite good. So I'm going to be focused on just optimizing the kerf width, maybe the penetration times, just a couple of minor settings in there to get this thing just nailed down perfectly. But I'm very happy with this. And for the $350 that I spent on this, I'm going to make that up in just materials and time in the near future. My next step here with the project is to get a pan and to get some kind of holder for the material here. So what I've actually done is I've ordered a stainless steel washing machine pan, which has about a 2.5 inch lip on there to use, and then I'll put a grating on there and set up my laser plasma cutter on top of that, which will hold the material, and the pan will allow me to put water into it so I can take care of all those sparks that are coming out of it. One of the final cleanup items that I'll plan on doing here is replacing the cords that I temporarily put on my plasma cutter and on the gantry to provide the trigger for my plasma cutter. As you recall, I had these 2-pin SAE connector style cords hanging out of my plasma cutter and off the gantry, and I found these actually quick connectors on Amazon here, and they will mount nicely on the back of my plasma cutter. One will mount nicely on the back of my plasma cutter. The other one I'll just put into the box in the gantry there. That way it's clean. There's no cables hanging out there, and it just looks like a more professional solution. Plus, you can get these 2-pin connectors, SAE connector cables, at really almost any length. Readily available, and they're used for battery tenders and other charging devices as well. My final thoughts are that I will be able to use the plasma cutter efficiently, but I will also be able to use the laser that I've also purchased efficiently as well. And again, it just bolts right on, and I can use the laser printer for some of my other car projects. One thing that comes to mind is I'll be able to etch plastics and glass and actually painted surfaces such as dash components or really maybe some of your switches, whether they're your window switches or some of the knobs on the dash. I'll be able to laser etch those in. So I see a lot of uses for both of these devices here. So I feel this is a very good purchase. And hey, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me anytime. Enjoy this and let me know what you think. Take care.